Hi everyone, it's Tina here. I'm going to show you a little tutorial on how I sort of deconstruct digital items for scrapbooking. I'm going to show you my cover page and how I put that together for my 2016 Project Life album. Now, a few things I'm doing differently this year. I'm going to go with a 9 by 12 album this year. The reason being is because I kind of got bored last year with the 6 by 8, and I feel bad for saying that because I love the size and I love the format. I've been using it for several years, but I'm just trying to sort of do something different this year, maybe sort of revive my love for Project Life and pocket scrapbooking in general. So last year I was going with these albums here, 6 by 8 albums. And last year's cover page here, simple, is just some marbled paper that I had done. And yeah, little lettering. And I always like to include, a family photo of us here. Sorry, getting that glare. And yeah, so that was last year's. This year, I'm not done with the cover page just yet. I have to add some stitching, but I'm going to go with this bad boy here, this 9 by 12 album. This one is from A Beautiful Mess's Messy Kit scrapbooking line. So it's a pretty cool album. It's gray. It's kind of like a plastic vinyl cover. And I just like the big pop of color in the inside. So that's what I'm going with this year. And then the digital item I'm going to be working with today is Paisley Press's Mantra, however you want to say that. It's a perfect little kit to sort of start your 2016 Project Life album. And once again, I'm going to show you how to sort of deconstruct it and make it more personalized for you. So here we go. So I've chosen to work with the Paisley Press Mantras kit. It's a beautiful kit to start off your 2016 cover page on your Project Life, There's some really beautiful word art. There's a lot of photo templates in here. They're really great. And what I love about Paisley Press kits and what Liz does to the templates is that everything is so easily customizable. She gives you, everything is broke down in layers. It's basically just putting a photo in and applying a clipping mask and you're done. Or you can totally, take it apart like I'm going to show you here and create something that's totally something that you're proud of, while keeping a little bit of that Paisley Press vibe in there. So what I've done is I've opened up this Here's to Us. It's a 3 by 4 card that is a template. You basically would drop down photos or maybe pattern paper into here. Now what I loved about this is that I loved the Here's to Us, the little quote here at the bottom. And the original photo I had, let me close this off here. This is my original photo. It's what I like to call a perfectly imperfect photo. It's grainy, it's dark. I had to do some adjustments to it to even get it to look like this, but it's about the moment for me. It's something that is really dear to my heart. We're laying in my son's bed. It's nighttime. We just got done with a bath, and we read about 2 to 3 books to him at night before he goes to bed. It's just a way to unwind. It's our family getting together. It's us. This is our moment. This is probably one of my favorite times of day for us as a family. So no matter how this photo looks, how grainy it is, how unclear it is, unfocused, how tired I look, it's still something that I'm going to use to start off my album because it's my family. I love these guys and I love the moment more than anything. So, and I don't want a photo that's not clear and that's grainy to stop me from putting it into my Project Life album. So definitely keep that in mind when working this year if you kind of ever are stumped about that, or if you ever get a little discouraged about looking at other Project Life albums and seeing how beautiful their photos are. Don't let that stop you. It doesn't come down to the beautiful photo, it comes down to the moments. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So I've got this photo here. And my original plan was just to stick it right into this template. So that's what I did. And I'll go from start to finish here of what my process was. So I had this photo. I'm going to go ahead and transform and scale it down to fit into the top square. And this photo was taken a day or two within the new year, which is how I like to do it with my Project Life albums. I like that first of the year photo for us, and I just didn't have time to set up any kind of photo shoot. I usually like to do a little photo booth type photo shoot for us, but I just didn't have time and I wasn't going to beat myself up for it. So I've taken that photo, I put it over this first photo here, which is the top little block. I'm going to create a clipping mask, and it's going to stick that photo right into there. And I'm just going to adjust a little bit and stick it right in there. Now, my original plan was to go and try to find something for this block, and I just didn't have anything. I was going to put a pattern paper in there, but I thought no. So then I had an idea of making this a full 9x12 page, just to sort of kick off my 26 album. So then I went ahead and I opened a 9x12 canvas. So we've got a 9x12, whoops, 9x12, got 300 resolution here, and I'm going to stick with a white background. Then I'm going to take this here, and this is what I love about Liz's layered templates, is that I can take this, okay, so I'm going to choose these two here, I'm going to merge those layers. Okay, so now it's just all within this framed block here. I'm going to take that layer and drag it over. And I kind of want to stick it here. Now this is a little, I think this is the size I went with. On a 9x12 it looks pretty small to me here, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is just enlarge it a little bit. Thinking, why didn't she just keep the photo and just stick it on there? And you're right, I could have, but I'm just going through how it all came to this, how it all came to the beginning page. So that's good for me there. I like that size. And then I'm going to take this Here's to Us, which is in this layer here. Again, love that everything's separated in layers. So I've got Here's to Us. And at first I was going to put it here, then, you know, so I'll just stick it here for now. I'm going to minimize that, and I'm going to take this New Year. I love this New Year. It's so pretty. I love, love, love this script writing that she has here. And so this at this point I've sort of played around with it here. I've got my layers here. I've got the photo the way I want it, so now it's just a matter of trying to figure out what to do with these. What I ended up doing was taking this Here's to Us. I stuck this at the bottom. You know, one way of doing this, oops, I don't want to move you, is taking this and maybe just putting Here's to Us. That was my original plan. And it would have looked fine. But I like to add a little bit of wording, personal wording. I usually kind of find a quote that's fitting for the way I'm feeling about the upcoming year. And a good way to do that, of course, is Pinterest. I mean, that's where you're going to find the best quotes, right? That's where we all pin all these great inspirational things that, yeah. So I'm pulling a quote from Pinterest that I really, really love. I'm going to show you guys here. And I have a whole Pinterest board that's dedicated to words. I'm sure you guys do too. Pretty common to have, right? So it is this one here. New year, new feels, new chances, same dreams, fresh starts. I mean, I read that and I thought, yes, that's exactly the way I feel. So I wanted to incorporate this in my beginning page, my start page. So I'm going to take that quote and choose text. So I'm going to go with Mrs. Eves here, this font. It's a pretty font. And it kind of goes with this Here's to Us. And I'm going to go ahead and journal that. New feels, new chances, same dreams, fresh starts. Okay, I'm going to drag it here. And I'm going to transform it. Scale it. And I'm going to move this Here's to Us right at the bottom. And I think I might even transform that and scale it up a bit. kind of have that more out, like that. So that's really starting to balance out a lot better for me than just having that tucked underneath there, and it's starting to feel a little bit more personal for me. With this, I want to go back to my type here, and I want to make sure I've got it okay right here. So I wanted to show you guys a little, I don't know if I call it a designer trick, but I like to space out my letters a little bit here, and I want to show you what that looks like. So if I just typed it out, that's how it would look here. So you can see it's all kind of jumbled together. Oh, let me minimize that for you guys. So you can see it's all kind of scrunched together. Now if you highlight it and sort of add a little bit of spacing in between, kind of feels, it's a little easier to read, just looks a little nicer here. So I've got that all balanced out. I have this centered. Let me see if I do. Yes. Yep, I got that centered. Okay, and I'm gonna get all this. And I sort of center everything by eye. It's not always perfect, but you know, actually go to my layers here. And I want to take my photo and just space it just a little, like that's good, right here. So the thing is that I don't have a large format printer. My printer only goes up to, you know, the normal 8.5 by 11, the letter size. So I'm going to have to push or put all this onto a letter sized canvas. So I'm going to do that by, you know, actually this is a little different than what I did before. So in my original page, the photo was actually a little bit bigger. So I'm actually going to shrink this down a little bit. And the easiest way for me to do that is just to grab all these layers together, transform, and scale. And I'm just going to, just a smidge, I'm just going to bump it down. Right there. See? Okay, that looks better to me now. Okay. I just want to make sure everything is aligned the way I want. This, I'm going to bump up a little bit. Here's to us. I'm going to take right there. Okay, so that looks good to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these layers and I'm going to merge them into one layer here. I'm going to open up a new canvas, a letter-sized canvas, 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to take that layer and just drag it over. I'm going to center this. And you can see this line here. It doesn't actually show up. I think it's just part of that clipping mask from when I used that. So I've got that, and I'm going to flatten it, and I'm going to save this. So this is my printed page here, what I just showed you in Photoshop. I went ahead and printed this out. I cannot find the matte paper that I usually print on at my local office supply store. I'll have to order off Amazon, but that's what I usually use. I had to settle for the glossy, which isn't bad. I'm not crazy about the glare that I get, so there's that noted there. A couple things that are different. When I originally did this, I did 2016, but then I later found this little embellishment from my Studio Calico kit, this 2016, this little rubber piece, which is really cool. So I think I'm going to either reprint this or just kind of let it be. I'm not sure. And then have, I'm going to place that over like that. And then this is actually going to be a Paisley Press creative team layout that I'm submitting for the Paisley Press blog. So I probably will Photoshop that out so that you won't see that in the final picture there. Little secret. So this is, it would be good as is. Nothing's wrong with it. Oh, before I move on to, this is taped onto a sheet of pattern paper that I cut down to 9 by 12 to fit in. Again, I don't have a wide format printer, so I had to kind of settle for this look, which is fine. I like the border of the little black and white dots, and I think this is the Ashley G paper that she did for Studio Calico. So, again, good as is, but I kind of wanted to add a little of my personal touch to it, and I love hand cutting shapes and objects. So I took a piece of vellum and I took a really thin sheet of white paper that's almost transparent. You can see kind of through it there. And I just cut a bunch of different shapes, as you can see here. And I'm just going to sort of place them randomly all over the page. So there's a couple flowers, leaves, bending up these little shapes. But okay, so this looks pretty good to me. So the next step I'm going to do is just sort of lightly dot it with some of this glue. This is my favorite glue from Martha Stewart, this little glue pen. Game changer for me, guys. So yeah, I definitely stock up on this. So again, just little dots. So, yep, all these are glued down. I'm going to glue this little baby across. Oops. There. Now again, I could totally stop here, but I'm going to take it a step further and add a little bit of stitching to some of these. So I will be back. Here is the completed layout after I added in some stitching. I wanted to keep it still minimal, but I also wanted to inject a little bit of my personality into it, and I think I definitely balanced that out really well. And I did that by not adding in color, keeping it black and white, but adding in these quirky little cutout pieces in the stitching. So I hope this inspires you to take your digital elements and look at them in a different way. Play with those layers, take away things, add things in, put things on a different, a different size than what it comes. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.